Kyren wants to line up in the slot. Kyren says that Corum's going to help him catch more passes in 2024. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say this because you're going to hear this spawn a different way. You're going to be sitting there watching news wires or some other show's going to take this information like this news report right here and twist it for agenda. There's an agenda. Keep in mind, there's a human being behind every single news report. Somebody that has invested interest in Corum or Kyren. And that goes the same way. I have invested interest in Kyren. But you have to either decide whether you trust the person that has invested interest in Kyren, that might be a little biased, or invested interest in a pick they're hoping supplants a guy like Kyren that they may be called wrong last year. They're trying to right their wrongs from last season. And this report came out today where Kyren was talking about not only his place in the offense, but what Corum, the addition of Corum, could do. These are leading questions. If someone asks you, hey, how do you feel about the guy they just drafted? You have to give him an answer. He's giving a positive answer. And there's news wires taking that answer and they're trying to serve an agenda. Like this one right here. Rams Kyren Williams said rookie Blake Corum can run the ball very, very well. Like this particular news report isn't necessarily twisting it too much, but that's what they lead with. They lead with the Corum side. And then other people are taking it in a very negative way because they're not necessarily reading in between the lines. Kyren was asked, what's going on with your role in the offense? I'm always going for that number one spot, Williams said when he told that he was projected to be the fourth best running back in terms of fantasy football production. I don't know what avenue that's on because we're seeing everybody fade Kyren everywhere. He's not the fourth ranked projected running back. What platform is doing that? What platform's copying the fantasy football show mindset? Because everything I see, Kyren's dropping into round number 3. And so he's rooting to be the number one. I don't like to be anything else if not number one. If you're not first, you're last. Straight from the fantasy football show. Straight from Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last. So I'm going to continue to work. And he wants receptions. He wants slot work. He says Corum's good. We know that. Corum is the best handcuff in fantasy football. Not so much because of Corum, but because of Corum plus Kyren in McVay's system. This is the number one cuff in fantasy. Don't get it twisted. Don't think your boy isn't here to tell you that this is the best cuff in fantasy. Don't think I won't be here to tell people they're wrong. We're right. If Corum starts 3 games and is a top 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 running back, in absence of Kyren comes back, drops top 5 running back numbers once he's back. This is the formula. This is the recipe. And we're here to speak on it. And I'm here to tell you my interpretation. And everyone else can think what they want. We're going to continue to steal Kyren away. In this news, the way I'm already seeing it be twisted and kind of respun out and redigested and rewritten by people. This news right here, I'm guessing Kyren continues to fall into the end of round 3. I'm here for it. You're here for it. We're wearing the Kyren merch. Kyren to the moon, the fantasy football show, Kyren Williams live stream, graveyard edition, almost emergency live stream edition with the live fantasy football draft, Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. That link is dropped, pinned in the live chat. You want to get into the draft once we get through all this part of the show. Jump right in. The fantasy football show begins now.
He's Kyren. He's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyren. He can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns. Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
This news is glory. This news is music to my ears. And Kyren Williams says if you're not first, you're last. This guy's going for the number one spot in the National Football League in 2024 in terms of running back production. He's telling you right here. But for whatever reason, and this is, again, I'm not saying this particular news piece is the worst of them, right? This is NBC Sports, but there's an agenda behind every writer. This is a human being that has a tendency to have a lean toward this player or that player. News comes in. And I would do the same thing. If NBC said, Smitty, can you write up this Kyren blurb? You know I'm going, bro, Kyren's going to the moon. You just have to decide, who do I trust that's giving me the information? If you trust me, good. If you don't, good. I don't care. Look, I'm here to deliver what I always deliver. And there's people that are going to ride and die with the show. There's people that are going to come in and hate. And that's fine. You want to take everything that Kyren said in this huge paragraph of information, and you want to tie it into mostly about Corum. I'm looking at this entire paragraph and I'm saying, this guy says he wants to be number one. If you're not first, you're last. His mentality is what you want in an RB, and he's telling you this news should be the news resonating. I'm going to be the number one running back in the league. No one's running with that. I'm glad they're not. I'm here to run with it. I'm here to run with it. We're here to run with it. We are going to run with it. They don't need to run with it. I don't need them to run with anything. We're going to benefit from Kyren's drop in ADP. He's already in the middle of round 3. He's already in the middle of round 3. Imagine where he's going to go if people start looking at this as a negative, this interview. Unbelievable. We're going to jump into a live draft right now. Get on over to... Yeah, Ricky Bobby mentality is amazing. We talk about that phrase all the time here. If you're not first, you're last. Who wants to be second place? Who wants to be third place? You're losing. You're third place, you lost. Second place, who cares? No one remembers your name. You want first place. If you're not first, you are last. That's what this man just told you. Okay, let's get into... click on the... Are the puppies gone? The puppies might be gone. Weekly winners. We got the Eliminator. That's $10. We got the Marathon. That's 15. We got the Sprint, which is 50. Yeah. Let's go into a weekly winner. Everybody in the count of 3, click on the weekly winner. Scroll on through to the weekly winner. 3, 2, 1, hit the green button, jump in. I'm going to wait about 6-7 seconds because of the YouTube delay, which means we will get in the exact same time that I said hit that green button. So smash it. Do it live. Here we go. We are getting in. Let me load the draft in. We're going to have, like I said, a conversation about this the entire way. Talk about Kyren. Talk about players around Kyren's value territory. Let's see here. Weekly winners, 10 spots filled, 2 more remaining. Phone lines will be open in just 1 second. John says, I'd rather have third than second, though. Of course you would. Third place. I'd rather have third than second. Of course you would, John. I can envision it no other way, to be honest with you. All right, here we go. We are loading the draft board. There it is. Smash. I'm going to close this. I'm trying to get this. I'll try and get the available players. This thing resets on me every damn time. So I got to readjust this 1 second. All right, I got the 3 pick. I like that. That's pretty good for weekly winners. I don't mind that at all. Kind of a fun draft slot to be in. All right, for those that don't know what weekly winners are, weekly winners is a contest where you essentially don't have to worry about anything but 1 week at a time, meaning you're drafting one team, and that team is going to compete every single week individually. No week is tied to another. There's no playoffs. There's no week 17 doesn't mean anything different than week 1. Week 1, everybody's trying to win 20K. Top scoring team wins 20K. Week 2, week 1 has nothing to do with it. Doesn't matter how bad you did, and so on. Week 8 has nothing to do with weeks 1 through 7. Week 17 has nothing to do with weeks 1 through 16. Your entire team could be suspended for 16 straight weeks, and you walk into week 17 and you win 20K if your team scores more than everybody else. So your boy's going to grab, let's go Tyreek here in this format. I like that. Even if I like this format. Tyreek Hill, do it live, smash. 2 super chats are sitting right here for the reading. Let me read these. Matt says 10 team, 1 QB, 24 champion, trade 2025 second rounder and a 26 second for Cooper Kupp. Absolutely. I take Cooper Kupp. I could care less about those second rounders if this is something that solidifies more winning for you. So smash the hell out of that. That's a no-brainer. My guy, no-brainer. Go get Kupp for second rounders. No doubt about it. I mean, even if he drops off after this year, it's a solid move. Smitty, I think weekly winners is good value too. You're getting 17 chances at a top prize for less bucks. I agree. It's my most favorite strategy kind of planning too. You know, like I can't stand how married everybody is to the data. And so for me, let me see if I can minimize this a little bit, because I want to get more rounds on screen. This thing resets on me every single damn time. Every single time. It's because it's my secondary monitor, and for whatever reason, it's having issues in terms of holding settings and such when I'm doing a screen share type of environment. All right, there we go. Smitty, I think weekly winner. Oh, I read that one. Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate you. Thank you for the $5 hauler. Thank you, Matt, for the $5 hauler. We're getting into the busy part of the season really soon. It's June 25, around the 4th of July is when everybody comes filing in for fantasy football content. All the people that have been dormant for months and months are going to just funnel right back into the channel. And we're obviously going to grow as well on top of that. It's going to be absolutely magnificent. So get ready, get your popcorn ready. Weekly winners is such a fun strategy too, because you can draft guys like Henry with a little bit more confidence, Christian McCaffrey at 28 years old with more confidence, Cooper Kupp with more confidence. Like players like that you can draft with more confidence, because DK at 10, what in the hell's wrong with this? What are you doing, bro? Is that one of our people? I think it is. I think it's one of our people too. I think I recognize that, unless that guy's in here all the time. White Rice, what are you doing, bro? With the DK Metcalf at 10 overall. If you're in the chat, can you explain yourself? Like, what's going on with that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that, bro? What's this guy doing? You have to scroll for a while. What are you talking about? The homepage. John says scroll for a while. There's no scrolling, there's swiping, John. Are you talking about if you're looking for a player? Just use the search bar if that's what you're talking about. I thought it would be a good idea too. Says on desktop version, which I'm sure there is, find the lobby button and scroll down and you'll find the draft. No, the draft is on, you go through the cards. You don't go searching through NFL or anything like that. There's cards that you cycle through. And on desktop, they're there as well. You're not scrolling down. I came too early to the draft. Wanted to draft with the boys again. Thank you, Double R. Appreciate you being here. What is this? What's this guy doing? Travis Kelce. Can you please speak up if your name is OG White Rice? If you're OG White Rice, please raise your hand. What in the hell are you doing? You're gonna get this whole draft thrown out by this garbage drafting. DK in round 1 and Travis Kelce in round 2. What are you thinking, bro? I haven't gotten that email yet about throwing out a draft, but all I know is you gotta be careful. Underdog will get rid of you if you're gonna be messing up drafts too, because people get really pissed off about that stuff. I'm gonna go Derrick Henry here. I got Tyreek. That's fantastic. Thanks a lot, OG White Rice, for maybe ruining this draft. What is he doing? Jeez. I don't know if Underdog throws out a draft that has that bad at drafting, or if it has to be blatantly worse. I don't know. But that's just ridiculous. Eventually they'll block or ban people that mess up a draft, and if they have to refund the draft, like you do that a couple times, I'm sure Underdog will ban you from ever playing on their platform again, because they don't want people to have a user experience like that. OG White Rice, if you're one of our people, speak up. Was that John? Is John OG White Rice? John, call in if that's you. What in the hell are you doing? Oh my God. That better not be John. That better not be John. I don't know if Underdog can throw out this draft. I think that's John now that I come to. John, don't blame that on anybody else. There's no way you accidentally draft DK Metcalf. You said yours is Make It Rain, okay? It's GC. Let's see if this is him calling in. Garrett, is this you? Are you OG White Rice?
No, this is Garrett Teague again.
Okay.
Sorry, brother.
What's this guy do? No, I mean, I don't. Is it? This guy says.
Yeah, he's ruining the draft. It's
GCIM.
He's colluding.
I don't know what he's doing, bro, but this is the worst draft I've ever seen. Call in, OG White Rice. What's wrong with you? What can I do for you, Garrett? I got a good draft.
Oh man,
too.
It's been such a good day, and I just got a new job, and I just wanted to call you back. Give you a little update on a dynasty draft I did a while back and got your advice if you're interested in the results.
Yeah,
I just wanted to, for sure. Your advice, I had Daniel Jones as the starting quarterback. I completely rebuilt. I had Breece Hall, Isaiah Pacheco, and you said keep those guys. I bucked your advice. You said try to get a quarterback for cheap. I shopped for Herbert, and nobody was really selling the quarterbacks. But I sold everything, man. I absolutely sold everything. But I wound up basically with Caleb Williams, Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson, Marvin Harrison, Rome Odunze, Xavier Worthy, Keon Coleman, Jaden Daniels, and I got Jahan Dotson, Quentin Johnson, Adonai Mitchell. I'm kind of hurting at tight end. I'm running Otten with like Conklin and Theo Johnson.
I don't mind like the approach you're taking. I'm not a big Caleb guy, but if that's your thing, go for it. But I like that you got Jaden Daniels. I like that you got Marvin Harrison Jr. I like that you got. The only thing is you're banking on this class, and if this class isn't as good as we think, you're going to be in some trouble.
Well, I also have 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds for the next year, and an extra second the next year.
I mean, it's kind of fun.
I figured I'd load up.
Who's your wide receiver 2? You got MHJ as your 1.
Odunze. I got Odunze, Xavier Worthy, Keon Coleman, and Jahan Dotson. They're kind of all just C tiers.
And then who are your running backs again? So you got Caleb and JD.
Trey Benson and Brooks.
And
I was figuring I'd go running backs next class, and hopefully one of these quarterbacks will hit. And, then I just got to fill a tight end spot. But I'm projected to be the worst team again, so I donated 2 years in a row. So I'm either going to get that Luther Burden kid from Missouri or the McMillan kid from Arizona.
It's an interesting team. It's an interesting team. I wonder what you could have got instead of using that, instead of.
I shopped it, man. I tried to get rid of that first pick, bro. No one was.
You couldn't have got Neighbors? You couldn't have got Neighbors, or you wanted to go 2 QBs?
I wanted the 2 young QB. I don't like next year's QB class at all.
You know what I would have done, bro? I would have went after Cousins, drafted Penix Jr., and drafted Neighbors. That's what I would have done. Because you would have Cousins and Penix Jr. with JD5. You would have smashed the hell out of. You would have smashed the hell out of everybody, bro. All right. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I got a draft here. Hold on. Damn.
For sure.
I don't know what to do here. Snipe City has been taken hold. Look, I'm not very fond of Neighbors, but this is weeklies, and this is also the 4th round. I'll go ahead and take him here. I hate him at 25 overall, but this is 46. Okay, there's a big difference. I think this is good everybody's seeing. Where's Smitty's line for Neighbors? He says, don't draft him, don't draft him. Well, 46 overall. And look, weeklies makes it even a little bit nicer because I think he could have those big games. So I'm okay with that value. It wasn't my favorite pick.
Multiple touchdown games there.
I'll make sure. Well, I don't know. I mean, he's got like 5 on the year. But, all right, hold on 1 second, Garrett. Let me go over to Sebastian real quick. Sebastian, you're live.
Yeah, Smitty, Kyren is actually my dark horse running back 1. And I told you earlier, too, Garrett Wilson was my dark horse wide receiver 1. I just think Kyren, perfect situation, perfect mentality. Love his coach. Situation is king for me, honestly, and that's why I have him as my RB1, and I do think he does have a shot at not even getting injured this year because he'd already be fully prepared from the full workload. He's another year removed from his injury. He's doing everything he should be doing to be preparing for that, workhorse, bell cow running back usage, and he's already shown that he has Christian McCaffrey efficiency, and I think with McVay and how good of his coaching, I think he does amplify his ability, and I really do think Kyren is a dark horse RB1.
I mean, it's easy. It's the easiest situation in fantasy. You just cuff it to Corum, and you solve all these stupid problems people keep bringing up and all these concerns everybody has. Real quickly, this guy took DJ Moore with his 3rd round pick. I mean, the Pacheco round 4.
What are we doing?
I'm fine with Pacheco round 4. That's the only pick he made. This is crazy. I know it's weeklies. I know that teams like this sometimes, but your odds are so much lower than everybody else's. You're not, there is a possibility that all these players hit. I mean, we've seen, if you take the top team, what does the top team look like in fantasy, and you pull those guys together and you put it on a graphic and you throw it up as a funny Instagram meme post, look at what would have won this week, and could something like this happen? Yeah, but the odds of this guy winning, I feel like this is one of our people, but I don't know. I've seen him in a bunch of our drafts, but he could just be drafting at night all the time or something. So I don't know. Does anybody know who this is? Is it GC? He said his Wi-Fi cut out. Doesn't matter. Liquid Silk, your Wi-Fi doesn't cut out and you draft DK Metcalf in round 1. That's a lie.
You auto-picked the highest player on the board.
That's a lie. He didn't. His Wi-Fi didn't cut out, and he drafted DK Metcalf. There's no way. And there's no way that when the draft begins, there's no way when the draft begins, you scroll through the wide receivers and queue DK Metcalf and accidentally draft off your queue. This was the very beginning and onset of the draft. OG White, call into the show real quick. I would love to discuss this with you. Explain to me how you accidentally drafted DK Metcalf at 10 overall. I'd love to hear it. There's no way. There's no way. Let me see what he says. I can find it. Wi-Fi. Come on. OG says, weather is bad and my service went in and out. My queue was on setup and order. I intended and it screwed up everything. GC, call in. There's no way. You can't. How would you accidentally draft DK Metcalf? There's such little time. You literally have to scroll through and not queue anybody else. and draft and Q DK Metcalf. And it's not like you have some sort of Seattle build going. I don't buy that, OG. I think you did it and you're trying to use it as an excuse. And weather's bad. Jeez. Let's see what he says. Call an OG.
And then I had one quick question too. I think. Oh wait, what's up?
I'm just still laughing at it. I don't know what he was thinking. The excuse of I didn't mean to draft him doesn't work. There's no explanation for it. Was it GC? GC, call in. I look. I can smell this from a mile away. Now, GC, let me give you some credit in that, like, I like the Kyler pick. I like the Kamara pick. I like the Pacheco pick. I don't know what in the hell you were thinking with DJ Moore in the 3rd round on top of Kelsey in the 2nd round on top of DK. I mean, this fits the bill for what you were doing in round 1. Oh, come on. What's the number? The number's on the screen. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. This guy, it's right in front of your face, bro. The whole show. It's right on the screen. Oh, don't give me that. I'm calling cap across the board. What's the number?
Smitty, I got a question.
What's the number? It's on the screen. Pay attention, GC. You're not paying attention to anything right now. What's up? Who said they had a question?
Garrett.
Yeah, it was me.
Garrett.
Wait, what?
Oh,
wait,
I didn't. No, it was me. Garrett. It was Garrett.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm cutting in. Fuck it. Would you really be shocked if DK didn't outperform like AJ Brown or somebody of that tier? Would you really be shocked?
It's not that DK can't be that good, but like you could draft him so far down, it just makes zero sense. Like there's no.
I agree. The value.
Hey, Smitty. This is DC.
I'm just trolling.
Hey, DC, I appreciate you calling it. Hold on one second. Let me make this.
Hey, that was seriously an honest mistake. You could look at my draft record. Like, I mean, I can show you whatever, but I would. So normally I don't like to cue anybody that's like at the top of the first couple rounds because I pretty much know who's available and when I'm going to get them. And so I'd like to go down and kind of select when I think I'm going to be up in the next 3rd, 4th rounds. And when I was doing that, it was all on my phone. I was watching you in the little bubble screen at the same time as looking at the draft, and everything all of a sudden it said it was my pick, and then it said I was on zeros and I couldn't select it, and all of a sudden it picked DK. And I'm trying to close everything out, and then by the time I get to it...
Okay, let me say I want to believe... Look, you sound genuine. I'll tell you that. Okay. But how would you pick DK Metcalf as the highest queued player in that scenario as the draft was proceeding down 10 picks, moving pretty rapidly? How would you have only select DK Metcalf as the highest queued player? It doesn't make much sense.
By the time I started queuing players... I was looking at when I was going to be drafting around the 3rd, 4th round.
He was projecting. That makes sense. Yeah.
I'll tell you exactly who I was planning on trying to get. Actually, I was going to try to get either Gibbs and Saquon, or Gibbs and Harrison. That's who I wanted to get with my first 2 picks. I didn't think I had to queue them. I just, that's the honest truth. I don't know what else to say other than that.
All right. Well, it happens. If I were you, I wouldn't do that again. I would queue more people that are around that territory. But like,
of course,
I'll believe you. You sound genuine. You called in. You had the balls to call in. So clearly, you weren't running from the situation. It is wild though.
And for everybody else, I didn't mean to mess this up for everybody.
But then the Kelsey,
I would never do that.
But then the Kelsey and DJ Moore pick were also a little bit early. Like
the DJ Moore, I didn't have anybody in my queue, and it auto drafted for me, and he was the first person on the top of the thing.
All right.
Oh, so you're just a bad drafter. Okay. All right. I get it.
Look,
I made a bad move. I don't think I'm a bad drafter. Actually, just about every time I do one of these drafts,
Well, so is the weather the reason you're auto picking? What is the excuse? You said everything got locked up and you had to close, but
so I have my phone on Wi-Fi, and then I'm assuming it was the weather. I'm not sure, but my service was going in and out, and everything was just on zeros. I mean, I have no reason to lie. I'm not trying to make up anything. Like this is honestly what just happened.
let's give
You gotta get off the midget porn, bro.
let's give him a
It's messing your system up.
hey, come on, bro.
Okay, guy.
Come on. Who said that? Garrett?
My bad.
Garrett?
Yeah.
I'm not even paying attention.
Call.
Not on a family show, Garrett. Okay. Anyway, let me give you a test. Caleb Williams or JD5? We're gonna give a competency test.
Yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't select any. I wouldn't select any Chicago wide receiver right now.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't trust it.
Okay.
Not. I wouldn't choose to do that. Or let alone a quarterback from there.
All right. All right, bro. Well, I appreciate you calling in. What's with the Kelsey pick in the second round?
He was on my queue too. It was literally like around at the same time DK and Kelsey were on my queue.
All right. Well, so I guess that would be crazy if you if you won. I'll tell you what.
No, I don't expect to win this.
But I mean, you never know.
Sucks,
It's a wild draft for sure. I think because you have 3 bad picks in a row, it's hard to buy. I kind of sense that you're genuine, but that's a lot of excuses in 3 straight rounds, bro. That's a lot of.
Well, I can share you my draft history. I would be more than happy to show you my draft
history. I'll believe you on this one. I'll believe you on this one. All right. I'm glad we at least have an explanation for it. I'm a little more satisfied than I was because I definitely felt like I've seen you in the draft. I've seen OG White Rice in the draft, and I don't remember you drafting horribly, but we're gonna keep an eye on you from now on, man, just to make sure.
To be honest, just about every time I've drafted that you've noticed my drafts, you've said you've liked my first 4 or 5 picks. Just about every time you've noticed me.
Okay. Anybody remember that? I'll buy it. But it definitely, hopefully this draft doesn't get thrown out. All right. Thanks for calling in, bro. Call in if anytime. What was your name, bro? Again, I'll just put you in as what you are in YouTube. It's what is it in the chat, the YouTube chat?
OG White Rice.
But that's what it is in YouTube?
Yeah. No, it's GC on YouTube.
GC. OG White Rice GC. I'll put that both in. All right, I got you in the system. Call in anytime, bro. Later.
All right, thank you.
All right, it's good to explain it. I mean, at least he explained himself. Hold on, Sebastian. I got a draft real quick. But that was wild. I don't know how I feel about that explanation, but it is what it is. Okay, so on the clock here, I'm gonna roll with good old Jonathan Brooks, doing it live. I've got so far Tyreek Hill, Derrick Henry, Josh Allen, Malik Neighbors, Kyle Pitts, David Montgomery, Calvin Ridley, Jonathan Brooks. All right, Sebastian, go.
All right. I was like trying to be serious right now until Garrett interrupted me. But anyways, I'm at a 4.12 and 5.1. I think this first pair smashes the second. Would you rather have Mahomes and McBride or have Lamar and Andrews and then just snag Likely later for the tight end cut?
Mahomes and McBride or what? What are my options?
Or the Lamar and Andrews stack and then potentially just getting Likely as a cut later.
Mahomes and McBride
in a best ball.
Mahomes and McBride by a country mile. What in the hell kind of question is this? Are you OG on a burner? What's going on here? Yeah, bro,
it was the ADP thing. That's what I thought was that Mahomes and McBride was going to crush it. I was trying to get it Smitty approved, but the ADP was like right there.
Of course, I don't care. The stack doesn't change the values of those guys.
Yeah, because I guess the biggest thing was just the ADP because I'm like, why are they all like?
I mean, on weeklies, either one could win 1 week for you. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's
no. This is best ball.
Okay, but in best ball especially, I mean, but even in weeklies, I wouldn't do it because I'm taking a shot at 1 week. I want the better players, McBride and Mahomes, straight up. Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Definitely. I mean, you're talking about.
Go ahead and pull the trigger on it.
What are the odds that Andrews could be the number 1 quarterback? Or I'm sorry, the number 1 tight end. Not very good. Like
the only reason why I was wavering on it was if I stack Likely, I'm guaranteed pretty much tight end touchdowns all season. especially as they're correlated with Lamar.
I get that, but I still think you could go get a player like Luke Musgrave and just have even better 2 tight ends. I think that's where you're getting someone else's cuff-like thing doesn't. Yeah, I would stay away from that. Go Mahomes, go McBride. You might have the number 1 player at each position. That's how good McBride is. That's how good Mahomes was. Mahomes was the number 1 fantasy quarterback in 2022. All right, bro.
Yeah, I mean, would you approve even like a Ferguson at the 2 or even Freiermuth as the second tight end behind McBride? Would you, Smitty, approve that, or is that too early?
Ferguson at the 2 or Freiermuth. I don't like Muth. I'd take Fergie at the 2 for sure. Fergie's like a fantasy football tight end 1. So you get Fergie.
Yeah, he's like a tight end 12, I think.
Yeah, but at what cost? What kind of other player are you losing? Like, would I rather have Luke Musgrave with McBride with maybe... I mean, you could go Kraft and then give yourself that Luke Musgrave Kraft guaranteed touchdowns in Green Bay, and then have yourself the McBride like that. That's kind of a nice little, and then you get to beef up another position versus use it on Ferguson. But I don't mind the Ferguson McBride. That's a bully tight end, but it comes with a cost, which is acceptable. Depends on the flow of the draft.
Yeah, I went double hero RB. I went Bijan at the 1.1, and then I got Barkley at the 2. Yeah, I forgot who my third player was. But I know it was for sure Barkley and Bijan, though, for sure.
All right, bro. Later.
Thank you.
Later. Okay. What are we doing here? Okay, so we're getting close to my pick. I got a couple players in mind. This is a pretty late territory for... I think what I'm going to do, there's a couple players I really like here. I've got Tyreek, I've got Neighbors, I've got Ridley. I like my receivers, but let's go ahead and stack Shakir with Josh Allen. So now I've got that stack going, which helps me out if Ridley bails on me or Neighbors drops a dud. And I've got Hill, which I'm going to count on almost every week. So that's a pretty good wide receiver to throw into the 4th wide receiver spot, given the stack. I like that a lot. Let me see if I can find my next player. I've got a couple players in mind. Okay. Shaheed, then Chase Brown, then Dalton Schultz. Now I'm on deck. It's all right, GC. At least GC told us what happened. At least we have an explanation for it. Give me Adonai Mitchell. I like that. My wide receivers are looking pretty good considering I did a whole 2 wide receivers in the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds. So only 2 wide receivers in the first 6 rounds. The forbidden build. Like, don't do it. You're going to lose if you do it. And I did pretty good. I mean, Malik Neighbors, Tyreek Hill, Ridley, Shakir, and Adonai Mitchell. That's very high upside. Very high upside. Yeah, just a little, like, you know, you call make sure you call into the show, you know, you don't say dumb things on the channel. Like, Garrett, I know you didn't mean it, but you're banned for the day on the call-ins, all right? You call in and you say something wild that's not, you know, friendly to a stream that's monetized and all that. You're gonna ruin your phone privileges. In fact, we might even implement a one mistake and you're gone type of commenting. So, just so you know, Garrett, you're forgiven, but it's not forgotten yet. How's that? Yeah, GC, appreciate you calling in. At least he explained it. Let's see what he's been doing, though, with this draft slot. Let's go check out what GC's been doing. DK Metcalf, he said he autoed. I don't know how. He explained it, but still wild to me. I don't know how that's your only cute player. I guess I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of GC. Might I scroll down and go Kyren Achan, whatever. Yeah, I could see myself doing that. If DK was his version of that, I guess I could do it. I guess I could imagine doing it. And Kelsey was one of the other guys he queued. Then he timed out on DJ Moore, and DJ Moore does go around that territory, so that makes sense that he got timed out on DK and Kelsey in his queue, and he didn't have any higher players queued. And then he actually autoed on DJ Moore, all explainable by him saying he had bad reception because of the storm. I guess I'd buy it. Especially he sounds genuine. I'm pretty good at telling if someone's telling the truth. Isaiah Pacheco in round 4, he kind of got back on track. Kyler in round 5, Kamara round 6, McConkey, JSN, Austin Eckler, Gus Edwards. I like pretty much everything but the Gus pick, but I understand the Gus pick in round 10. It's not crazy. So at the end of the day, his drafting style does kind of mirror that he knows what he's doing past those 3 picks that he royally screwed up on. But he owned up to it. He called in. Rock out in the 7th spot. Breece Hall, Kyren Williams, Cooper Kupp, Trey McBride, Terry McLaurin, George Pickens, Zamir White, DeAndre Hopkins, Tua. I like this team a lot. I like it a lot. I was going to take, damn it. I waited too long. I just wanted to get my receivers on buttoned up, but I wouldn't have been able to take Trey Benson. I should have went Tua with that pick and stacked Tua and Tyreek Hill, even though I got Josh Allen. I really like that approach in weeklies, but at the end of the day, like Tua and Josh Allen, even in a big Tua game, Josh Allen might be right with him that week, so I'm not too worried about it. Luke Musgrave, that's a good pick there. Superfish from the what pick are you in? Superfish is from the 8 spot. AJ Brown, Devon Achane, Hurts, Josh Jacobs, Reed, Christian Watson. Love that team. Jordan Love to stack with those Green Bay. Man, that's the creative, like, later stack that no one sees coming. A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts. Oh, we see what you're doing there. Then you go Jordan Love and the stack below that. It's a really, really smooth move. I like that move a lot. I do it with MHJ, and then I take Hurts and Devontae Smith or Goddard or something, and then I've got MHJ, and then people don't see it coming. I go, boom, Kyler Murray down, at the Kyler Murray territory. So I love it. I got a dust in here or something. Oh, God, I'm going to time out. Boom. Okay. I almost pulled a GC. but I don't have anybody queued from... But I guess I do sometimes, right in this territory, have somebody queued like down at the bottom that I'm just like... So I don't forget. And then... So it's possible. Like I can envision it. But goodness gracious, bro. All right, let's see. I'm almost on the clock here. I could use... Could use an RB here. No, actually, I'm pretty loaded at running back, aren't I? Got Henry, Monty. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could use one RB. Let's go with the Marshawn Lloyd. I really like him this year. Doesn't mean I don't like Jacobs, though. I know someone I just read off had Jacobs, so I apologize for the snipage. Don't know that he would have made it to you anyway. Jack says Nick Chubb gonna be a fantasy Cinderella story. If you say so, my guy. All I know is that his knee, it did this. I got my model here. So here's his knee. Let me be very, very, very gentle with his knee. Here's his knee. That's what happened to it, bro. Absolutely demolished. Just absolutely blown to pieces. Blew the knee out. That's what you call a knee blowout. This complete whole thing just practically broke to a right angle to the side, ripping everything. At 2 different surgeries. We couldn't even have the ACL surgery with the MCL surgery. Usually when a player tears an MCL or an LCL, it can a lot of the time heal without any surgery. Sometimes the MCL surgery needs to take place, but very rarely do you like rip it in half. Or this guy tore pretty much everything in his knee, and he had to have the ACL surgery in November. So, you know, it's definitely, his onset of arthritis is going to be just like going to hit him like a ton of bricks. And the team, instead of releasing him, they reconstructed his contract so that they could say, "Hey, we're going to pay homage here. We're going to give you the respect you deserve for what you did. Here's a new deal. Now you've got to hit everything with incentives," which might motivate him, but I don't even know that there's a timetable on when he's going to be ready. And he's even shot down the idea of rushing him. He's like, we don't know when. Okay. So just calm down. It's not something that's going to happen right away. That's why Jerome Ford is such a great pick this year. But, I mean, trust your gut. We've seen crazy things happen. He certainly came back from that knee injury before. And he was a young kid in college, though. But there's very few players that have ever had that kind of knee injury at the NFL or college level. I can't even think of another player that's had it, actually. There might have been somebody, but he had two of them. That's wild. It's almost like his legs were made of like putty or something. Like how in the hell do you have your knee? How do you have that happen to you twice? Like the most devastating knee injuries in the history of football. He had both of them. And they were different directions too. One was hyperextended, completely right angle forward, and the other was sideways. It was wild. Okay. Wide receiver. On the clock here after this pick. Let's go with good old I don't know who I'm going to pick here. I guess I'll take a stab at Troy Franklin. Devo says my Wi-Fi blew up like Chubb's knee. I don't know if Chubb's knee's as bad as your your Wi-Fi debacle though. GC, that was pretty bad. Oh, Travis, I'm sorry, bro. What's up? Forgot.
No, it's all good.
I believe GC.
Yeah, so
I believe him. I guess he sounded genuine.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happen where you just don't queue enough people, and the
At
guys
10,
you
though?
think a couple guys are going to be there.
At
It
10,
is awfully early.
It was a little wild at 10. Only because I haven't done it that way before, but I can't say because I haven't done it that way, someone else can't do it that way. But yeah, it was a little wild that he.
I guess it was just assuming you would get those exact players, Risky roll of the dice.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I guess I would.
He sounded genuine to me.
He did, but I guess I just wouldn't. I can't envision what benefit you have when the draft's beginning, that you're combing through, that territory. But I do it down lower when I get to, like, let's say round 5 or 6. I do find myself, as I'm scrolling through the wide receivers, I go, okay, I don't want to forget him later. I don't want to forget him later. I don't want to forget him later. And I do that very, deep down in the draft. But I guess because I've never done that at 10 overall. It's wild. It's a little wild, but I certainly can understand having an issue, I guess, like that. But it was wild. He could have not called in, so I believe him. Spencer with the $2 hauler, can't wait for Adonai Mitchell season to be upon us. I'm starting to like him more and more, Spencer. I'm really worried about all the red flags because they in some way remind me of Kadarius Toney. I know it's a totally different kind of risk, but he has a little bit of off the field issues and concerns. And then he's got the diabetes, which apparently he's very bad at managing, some say. But what if they're saying that in a way that's not fair? I don't know. But I think his upside's so huge. And then Anthony Richardson, I just think we can't tie Kadarius Toney to him. I have a fear about it, like PTSD for a player that has this skill set, that has this initial like concern up front. You know it's there, and you're going to take the gamble on it. But I don't want to be unfair to Adonai Mitchell and say just because he's got a little bit of an edge to him, and gives up on plays or whatever people want to say, he's going into a really good situation, and at the cost of entry, it's not going to hurt anybody.
Yeah, and just to give him a little credit, I had also heard that there was a group of people saying that, but then people that were with the team were saying they could just be sticking up for him. They want their team to look good too. But guys who actually coached him and were with him, a lot of them said no, he's a great kid. He's going to be good in the NFL. He's going to take it seriously, all that. So I think the diabetes thing is a bit of a concern, but you wonder if he gets with a NFL level nutritionist. But at the same time, he was at Texas, right? And they have like state of the art everything too. So
yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's never good when you hear like, oh, he gives up on plays, oh, he doesn't manage or care about staying on top of this and that, like the diabetes thing, and then you hear he's got some other off the field concerns, and then he falls off a lot of people's boards. But I mean, look, wide receivers are wild. It attracts the weird diva, me mentality type people. But I have also seen people grow up, quickly. Right. And so if he was costing like what Neighbors is costing or anything remotely close, then I'd be out. But I think because you can get him as like your wide receiver, like 6, like who cares? Smitty, I'm 2 out of 10. Smitty, I'm a 2 out of 10 at drafting Rockout. Rockout he loves self-deprecation.
Punishment.
I feel
for punishment.
Yeah. I feel like Rockout. Rockout. Matt Glore says, can I call and talk waiver wire fab post rookie draft? Yes, you can. Matt, dial in. Appreciate your super chat. Okay, I'm going to make this pick now. So hold on one second, Travis. Let me just make this selection now so I don't forget. I just don't want to get sniped. Look, I got 3 picks left. I'm about to make 2 of them, so I don't really care if this is a wee bit. Well, actually, yeah, I'm just gonna take a Conquo here. So now I have I got 3 tight ends. My wide receiver room is pretty good. Tyreek Hill, Neighbors, Ridley, Shakir, Adonai Mitchell, Franklin. It's pretty good. I mean, Shakir being cuffed to Josh Allen as my 4th wide receiver, and then having Adonai Mitchell and Franklin.
Very solid.
A lot of upside. So, and then to have Derrick Henry, Monty was kind of like in weeklies. I don't mind Monty. I feel like he can get like 2 touchdowns any game. He's still capable of it.
They'll still ride that hot hand,
Yeah.
At some games.
Yeah. Shub from the 1, Christian McCaffrey, Olave, Nico, Stroud, Andrews, Christian, Kirk, Mostert. It's pretty good.
So real quick, I just wanted to say earlier in the chat, I had mentioned that just because there's been new people, new subscribers, new callers, stuff like that. I just mentioned, like I said, I know people will call me a Karen for it, but like, gotta just be easy with like the F-bombs and stuff, because there's been a lot of them lately. I've noticed, even with like the 8 o'clock show. And
yeah,
I just wanted people to know. Like, I'm not the fun police here, but I don't want the monetization and stuff to get screwed up for you. So.
Yeah, I mean, people come into the phone line all hot on the phone line, just no censor whatsoever, just completely hot on the phone line. But no, and I'm saying that they shouldn't they should realize that this is a monetized show, and channel. So, you want to have privileges to call in to the phone line. Don't call in hot. Don't come in hot.
And I'm not even like particularly targeting anyone from tonight. It's just the past like 3 or 4 nights I've noticed, like, new callers, stuff like that. They don't know. So, a lot of F-bombs being dropped. So just kind of watch out a little bit.
Yeah. Don't destroy your ability to call in the future and throw it all away just off of one phrase. But also the F-bombs do hurt eventually the channel. Now YouTube goes back and forth on being like the fun police themselves, and there was a time where you could say the word the whatever word you could say biatch one time and it would catch it and then they opened it up and then now it's a little bit more lenient, but they could switch that back at any time, and then they start looking for it on old videos and stuff. So like I just try and keep it like calm. Like there's no reason to say like the F word over and over and over and over.
Well, it's like, and not that it would necessarily affect us, although they have keywords and stuff, but anytime you get around like an election season and stuff, they start to like key in and crack down on different crap. It's just a natural thing. Yeah, I mean,
I curse every once in a while for sure. Like, I'm not a goody two shoes. It's just it comes down to the channel. Like, all right, hey Matt, who hangs up is on the phone real quick. Matt, you're live. What's up?
What's up, Smitty? Thanks for taking the time. And I'm the same Matt that put the super chat in about the waiver wire fab.
Oh yes.
Just wanted to talk about. I just want to talk about the fab budget for my league, and the waiver's clear about 3 hours, and it's $100 for the entire season, and it's a pretty deep like bench. So after the rookie draft, it's kind of like it's what's like you can kind of spend some money to go out there, and I got like a lot of like roster floggers that I'm cutting. So there's like 6 waiver claims I'm putting out for players, but I want to make sure I have like the right amount per player. If you could help me out with that, if that's okay.
Yeah, can I stop you here and just say, I don't know your league, and this question I get, I don't know if you remember our waiver wire show and how we operate on the waiver wire show. But a lot of people will say to me, hey, Smitty, how much should I bid on this guy? How much should I bid on this guy? My usual answer is I honestly have no clue, because your league might be different than my league. My league's going to be different than your league. Sometimes people are so conservative that like they'll laugh at you if you put 20% of your fab on a guy, and then you realize the highest bid was $10 out of 100, and you're like putting 25, 30, 40 down, or you blow your wad on 100. And the highest bid, if it shows you, was like $4 or $8. So you look like an idiot. I don't know. You're going to have to give me that background a little bit. And if you don't know that, then it's going to be hard. The other thing, too, is like sometimes I don't even want to mess around with one guy getting cute. Or if he see me go wild on something, then, I mean, I might fear that they might be thinking what I'm, normally thinking. And then they drop the whole load on one player. And so, like, you give me your thinking here real quickly before I go over to this question. I just took with my last pick. I think this is a pretty crafty move that I recommend for other people. Is I took Neighbors earlier. So with this, hold on, let me go back to the draft. So with this last pick, because I have Neighbors, I took Hyatt. So kind of feels like a nice little side cuff. With that, it kind of protects me, I think, into some guaranteed production for the most part. But back to your question, hit me with the question first, and then I'll let you know. But there's really no way for me to help prioritize the value here. I'll just give you my best guess, and first let me know: does your league tend to drop a lot of money on these guys? What's the typical bid?
Yeah, so it's a 10-team 1 QB PPR tight end premium. And the league kind of, even though it is 1 QB, the league values QBs a decent amount. And I'd say for fabs, like in the last couple of years, fab budget of guys, it ranges, because it is still early, but it ranges between 5 to 25% on guys. I would say.
Okay.
No one's really dropping the big load this early on in the off season. But yeah. So the main, and I am a Christian McCaffrey and Breece Hall owner.
Okay.
And first, I'll start with those handcuffs. All of Braylon Allen, Isaac Orendo, and Elijah Mitchell are out there. And I kind of I want all three of those guys. Malachi Corley's out there. J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, and Luke McCaffrey.
Okay.
I know it's kind of a lot of guys. But
So,
I know it's a lot.
Braylon Allen, you got to probably get that guy. You got Breece Hall. I think that's probably your priority number one. Who's your running? You say Breece Hall and who else?
I have Breece Hall and Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. Garendo is a guy I want to get, but I don't think you even have to worry about putting a lot of money on him because he's not even the starter right now. But I don't know how much I worry about the other cuffs, although Mitchell would be nice as well. But definitely Braylon Allen is a must grab. Do you have? You said did you have Kirk Cousins?
I don't have Kirk Cousins. My only quarterback is Jalen Hurts. So I'm not a dire need of a second QB, but just.
Yeah, I would say Penix is still a very, very high priority for me. Especially if this is dynasty you said, so yeah, definitely. Just as far as percentages, bro, if the typical percentage is 25%, I kind of feel like out of $100, I guess like $20, maybe $15 on Braylon Allen. Penix Jr. $8, $10. I mean, I don't know. Maybe $8. I don't know, $10. Travis, do you have anything to add here? I mean, I'm really just guessing completely because there's no way unless I'm looking through the logs of what the typical bids are. I mean, I hate to tell you to blow your entire wad because what if there's a Kyren Williams this year and you don't have that $100 to throw onto it? It makes it tough to. But these are good players.
Is this the first set of waivers since the rookie draft? Or have you had waivers run already? Okay, so it's
the draft just ended. The draft just ended. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, okay. So the draft ended about 30 hours ago, and so waivers cleared in like 3 hours. The waivers cleared in 3 hours.
You might find that nobody even bids on some of these guys, and you could just put a $0 bid in.
I was going to say that there might be one or two guys who get desperate and really reach for people, but I feel like, and now you know your league better than us. That's the biggest thing, like Smitty always says. But you may have people that just like their team. I don't know what roster, if they'd have to drop guys or if there's taxi squad, stuff like that matters too. But I mean, a lot of people don't want to drop guys they drafted right away.
Is Ricky Pearsall out there?
He's sadly not.
Okay, is McMillan, Javon Baker?
So McMillan's one of the other guys. Yeah, I have a current fab of like $6 in for him. He's available too.
And Baker?
Javon Baker was the last pick.
I don't know, man. I guess I would say Braylon Allen's the only one that and Penix Jr. the ones that I absolutely, no matter what, want.
Yeah.
I don't know how much to say. I would say like $8 and $8. I don't know. I wish I could.
That helps. That helps a lot. I was mainly just kind of throwing names out, and I was thinking like, Braylon Allen, Penix, and Garendo are kind of like the big three to take away. And if I could bid like $3 to $5 on the rest, then so be it. But the main three, I think that helps a lot.
This is our week. This is our week 15. This is our week 15 waiver wire, by the way. I pulled it up right here. This is the format that we're going to be using. Everybody can get excited about it. Just looking at it gets me excited. Tomorrow, I plan to do a preemptive waiver wire show. Ironically, so the importance of a waiver wire show right now in June would be dynasty. So I'll hit some dynasty. I might even do 2 different boards: one dynasty, one redraft, and then also the whole goal of a waiver wire show now. Even one in August, even one September 1, when I'll probably do about 4 waiver wire shows before week 1. The whole goal is so that you aren't in the position you're in now, where you're scrambling to get players that you wish you would have drafted. Now, in some cases, you only have 4 picks, and you just want to scoop up more players later. So it's also good to just get you ready for your waiver wire claims. But usually we come in here and the first thing you'll hear me say to people is like, "Hey, bro, I really have no ability to give you any sort of insight on the amount that you got to drop." So I'll always tell you that. But you'll also hear me come in a lot and go full load drop.
Initiate full load drop.
And full load drop would be for somebody like Puka Nacua or Kyren Williams coming out of week 1 that looks like they're the guy, and I literally drop $100 on them. So you are running the risk of not being able to ever participate in that if there is a Kyren or a Puka in this week 1 or week 2. But you could also make a trade, right? And trade for waiver wire dollars. Is that accurate in your draft or your league? Can you click on trade and request someone's waiver dollars?
Yeah, so it's an ESPN league, but I'm the league commissioner. But I can edit people's fab in our league. So basically, we can just not in the system. I can just edit it like off the record.
Well, if you don't have that built into the, people might have a problem with it if it's not known or whatever. But this is crazy. Like we look at week 15 that Jaden Reed was available, Zamir White, Stafford was still out there. Likely, man, it did get thinned out though.
What
JSN.
What did we use? Was it like they had to be like 20 or 30% available, or 40%? I forget what we were using at the time, but it was like a significant amount of leagues.
Yeah, I want to say in order to hit my waiver wire, unless I felt like it was just a special case where I just want to make sure. I think it was like, God, it's a good question. I think it was like 20 available in 20+% of leagues, maybe. Or no.
It was something like that.
Was it 30 or? I don't know.
For some reason, I'm remembering like 30. Because that would mean they're 70% owned.
Yeah, I think something like that. And I might adjust it as we go.
The last thing I wanted to just say quick to Matt was with Garendo, just, make sure you just monitor the news on them as camp goes on and as the preseason comes, because right now I don't know where he is on the depth chart, but like they just came out and said Mitchell right now is still the number 2 back.
Yeah, you might be able to.
Even some people who would say Mason is still there, so you probably could wait on him.
But you could probably taxi him though. So do you have taxi squad?
Oh yeah, that'd be a good way if you have a taxi squad.
Do you have a taxi squad, Matt?
We do not, but that kind of goes to the next point. Like Mitchell's also out there, so it's like you'd rather have Mitchell
for now. Mitchell, but like long term, by the time hopefully you don't ever need to use it, but if you do, like will Garendo be in that spot? I don't know. I like him a lot, but Shanahan's
Mitchell
really weird. He's really weird with rookies. I guess I would just say Mitchell for now, and then just keep a itchy trigger finger on getting Garendo. Like Travis said, just monitor it. Stay on top of it more than anybody. Mm-hmm. All right, Matt. Call back if you got another one, Matt.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Sebastian and Travis, hang tight real quick. Let me get these super chats. Rate my team, says Rockout. Let's go back over to the board. Rockout's got the Breece Hall, Kyren, Cooper, Trey McBride, McLaurin, Pickens. You had Tua, Zamir White. I like this team a lot. I'd probably say you're in the top 6 for sure. I think Superfish is in the top 6 as well. I love that team with A.J. Brown. I love the double stack that you got going on there with A.J. Brown and Hurts. And you got Achane, Jacobs, and then you got Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, then Jordan Love, which is just awesome. I think Gerwin's got Puka, Gibbs, Devontae Smith, Kincaid. That's a really good team. Walker, Keon Coleman. Who's your quarterback, Gerwin? What in the hell did you... Jaden Daniels, there it is. I like it. Brian Thomas. I think it's a really good team. And remember, this is weekly, so like that team, that's definitely a team that could win it. Any given week. We got the 12th spot. We got Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Mahomes, Tank Dell. That's a good. Ramondre and Zach Moss and Najee are probably the best running backs you could get in this zero running back approach. I really like this build. And this is the perfect usage of going hardcore wide receiver, going with the flow, taking the best players available. You're not just going wide receiver, or wide receiver, quarterback, wide receiver, you're going Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Mahomes, Tank Dell. These are players, not positions. You're not drafting a position. You're drafting a player. And those were potentially the best players on the board. And the George Kittle pick, not my favorite, especially with the weight loss, not knowing where he's going to be health-wise. But, to go 0 RB and to land Ramondre, Zach Moss, Najee. You got Jerome Ford as well, Kendre Miller. I really, really like this team a lot. That's probably one of the better weeklies. No running backs until round 6 teams I've seen in a while. So that's a great job, whoever did that. I love that team. Shubes from the 1. McCaffrey, Olave, Nico, CJ, Stroud, Andrews, Christian Watson, Raheem. I like the team. I like it. And then who else is in here? My team is okay. It's not my favorite, but Tyreek Hill, Derrick Henry from the 3 spot, Josh Allen, Malik Neighbors, Kyle Pitts, David Montgomery, Calvin Ridley, Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson, Shakir, A.D. Mitchell, Kirk Cousins, Marshawn Lloyd, Franklin, Cade Otton, Okonkwo, Michael Penix Jr. to go with Cousins, and then Jalen Hyatt. I like it. It's a really good team. Could have won a $20K prize one week? Sure. This is one of those contests where you really can't say no to anybody but OG's team. DK Metcalf. You could even say he could win it. I mean, to be honest with you, any given week, any team could win. DK, Travis Kelce, DJ Moore, Pacheco, Kyler Murray, Kamara, Ladd, JSN, Eckler, Gus. You never know. I wouldn't bet on it, but you never.
That he got DK and Kelsey could have, it could bail them out one week and have, 35-point weeks to both of them.
I like the team in the 6th spot.
What if DJ Moore gets 40 on primetime again for whatever reason?
Yeah, you never know. But, yeah, I don't know. So thank you, Rockout, for dropping that $2 hauler. Appreciate you. Rockout also said, I'm the number 1 reacher. Thank you, Rockout. Media played a huge part in the off-the-field script, in my opinion. He's a T. Higgins times CeeDee Lamb hybrid. Too much talent to pass up on, especially at his ADP. No doubt about it, Spencer. That's why I'm scooping up A.D. Mitchell left and right. I really am. At first, I was a little gun-shy, and then his ADP just cemented into that very, very reasonable territory. And at the end of the day, there's not a negative thing you can say about drafting A.D. Mitchell where you're getting him. If you had to take him higher, it would be one thing. But in regular best ball, not weeklies, is probably pretty close to the same. Maybe his ADP is a little higher, I'd imagine, in weeklies, but I don't even know, and I don't really care enough to look it up. It's going to be close. But A.D. Mitchell is looking like a freaking steal. His ADP is now at 116. That puts him at wide receiver 57. That's unbelievable, and I'll take it all day long. What are you going to say, Travis?
People need to realize, I know some people are very high on Pittman. A.D. Mitchell could overtake that number 1 wide receiver spot. He has that ability.
I have him. So in my mind, he will. Yeah, I really believe that.
I think
Pittman's good, but
Pittman's
good, but he's not a number 1 wide receiver.
He's being drafted at the ceiling.
I don't care I don't care if people disagree with me on it. That's fine. You have that right, and I'll respect it, and I certainly won't make fun of it. Because the most of the world agrees, I think, with that Pittman's the number 1. He's a low-end 1, but he's a 1. I disagree. I think Pittman is a glorified number 2 that's getting massive volume and target share because there is no other player, so he's looking like a 1. He's playing kind of like a 1 in times. But A.D. Mitchell is good enough, as Travis just said, to absolutely become the team's number 1. Now, he's also questionable enough to not, but I don't care because the ADP is great. But I'm taking him at 100 and what I said was 116 overall. Goodness gracious, man. I mean, JD5 at 100 and A.D. Mitchell at 116. Those are 2 amazing steals.
Yeah. And for anyone who missed it the other night, I'll just say real quick, he's a good counter to a Ladd McConkey at 68 or whatever he's going.
Yeah, give me another running back or a tight end or a quarterback where Ladd's going, and give me A.D. Mitchell as the wide receiver. That's crazy difference in ADP. This was snipage and reachy draft indeed. Yeah, you sniped me on Lloyd. Still really like my squad. How do you think it ended. You saw my response to Superfish. It's a great team. I'm sorry I didn't even. Not that I feel like anybody should, and I know you're the same way. Should apologize to anybody about trying to win the cash prize and be delicate around. That's why I always used to laugh at Ron Navy when he'd be like, "You took my guy," and then he'd go out of his way to snipe me, and I'm just like, no, nobody's trying. Everyone's trying to win their money, you know. Like it's like nobody should be dancing around anybody's players because you're in here. What if you could have won $20K, but you're trying to be nice to me and you didn't grab my cuff? You know, I'm gonna let Smitty get his cuff. Or what if, you know, or what if you grabbing the cuff ended up screwing Superfish out of $20K and the player that Superfish drafted instead wins the whole thing? So you just got to go with the flow. You did amazing. Top 6 team easy when I look at it. And then this super chat 279. Appreciate you. Yo, Smitty, I drafted from the 6th slot. Any thoughts? I think I did mention that briefly that I like the 6th spot. Bijan, London, Ayuk, Lamar, Hollywood, James Cook, Evan, Ingram. It's pretty good. It's definitely a team worthy. Dotson, Aaron Rodgers. Good team. Definitely a team that could easily slip into a first place, finish. I guess the best way to describe this is, OG White Rice, who drafted DK in round 1, and your team, and I'm not saying this in a negative toward your team. Your teams probably wouldn't be my favorite or in my top 5 to have the best shot at 17 attempts at it. That's kind of the way I value a team. I'm more looking at a team saying, God, any week they could win this. Whereas I look at your guys' teams, and your team's way better than OG, and OG will admit that OG messed up and auto-drafted. But, your team I like a lot. Ayuk, Lamar, Hollywood, very, very good. You did what you could with that draft slot. I don't think you made any mistakes. But then, you take that same approach out of our sniping community, you might get 2 or 3 times the value at that same approach, and then your team could win it all. I just think sometimes, even my team, if I was not drafting in a snipe city zone, I think I would have hit on a couple different players. I would have a better wide receiver than Neighbors. I like Neighbors there, but I think I would have had a Tank Dell, or I would have done something slightly different. Maybe not. Maybe I would have got a different player or two, but I think at the end of the day, your team could still win any one given week. But I would say it's not in my top 5, given some of these other teams in terms of being likely to win every single week, and have a high likelihood for it. But because Superfish and Rockout have really, really good squads. Gerwin's got a really good team. That 12 team's really solid considering it went 0 RB. And your team is really good at the 6th spot. It's good. It's not bad at all. It's really, really good. Drake London, Brandon Ayuk, Hollywood. It's a good team. James Cook. I think it has the potential to have a huge, huge, huge week at some point, though. So I really like it. Nice job. Thank you for that super chat. I got 2 more real quick. Hold on, guys. Phil with a $5 holler says, thanks, Smitty. That was me at the 12. Oh, okay, Phil. Nice job. I will be joining you on your next Dynasty show. I just adopted an orphan Dynasty team in a 12-team 1 QB league. Okay, definitely, bro. We'll see you over on the Dynasty channel. I don't think we'll go tonight, but definitely glad to have you on that channel. And then Rock Out with the final super chat at the moment says, check my DMs. I think Rock Out's probably leaving us a little rap about Kyren, I imagine. Let's find out.
Putting in work.
Hold on.
Coach, this is Kyren time. I be going yes, and I spit these rhymes. This is one of a kind. He be next gen. He AI. Gotta recognize.
Thank you, Rock Out. Appreciate you. Voice of an angel.
If you get a chance at some time tonight, Smitty, play if you have it handy, play the cup rap for Ricolas. Him and a couple of people haven't heard it yet. So
for what?
If there's time with them.
Cooper Cup?
His Cooper Cup rap?
Yeah, if I can find it. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. He dropped a...
I give you
That's an all-time honor in my book.
Breeze, like a Reese. I love fantasy football. Fly to the moon.
Oh yeah.
What you want, man? What you want, man?
It's just like a.
Scoring touchdown. Give me my cup. Scoring touchdown. Down. In the fourth round. Give me my cup.
I love the screwing touchdowns part. Listen to this. I don't think he means to say it, but he definitely says it.
Give me my cup.
Drop a cup.
Screwing touchdown.
Screwing a touchdown. Drop a cup emoji. This is a voice of an angel. I mean, songbird of the generation, no doubt about it. All right, boys, it's getting late. Sebastian, final thoughts, and then I'll go over to Travis.
Yeah, I wanted to follow up on what I asked earlier. I went with Mahomes and McBride. Obviously, the start was
Nice.
Bijan, Barkley, and DK out of the one slot with Mahomes and McBride. And
That's
then
good.
I just wanted to throw a name out there. It was Xavier Legette. I think he finds himself in a pretty similar situation to Lad McConkey as far as the questionable offense. I mean, we don't really know anything about Carolina yet because we haven't seen it. But I think Xavier Legette is pretty close to McConkey as far as situation goes, and really far as ADP. He's over there around like 140, I believe. So I just want to throw that out there. And then I wanted to ask one final question. If you had to choose one player at any ADP, just call your shot. You just know they're going to hit. Who is it going to be? It could be Jaden Daniels. It could be Trey Benson, Bijan, just one player. Who are you calling your shot on?
I mean, JD 5 is going at 100. It's going at 100 overall. That's just glory. I think that, injury could take out anybody, but this guy is like just such it looks like a veteran out there. He's a hard worker. All the skills are there. But if I had to say, like, if I'm combing through ADPs, my favorite there's several players, but I love that you can get Breece Hall at 8-9. I love that Jahmyr Gibbs is now at 3. Is he at 13 now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's at 12. He's still at 12. He's at 12 to 13. So Gibbs is a phenomenal pick there. Achan at 24, Kyren at 30. Those are some of the best values, period. I mean, Hurts at and this is underdog. It's going to be a little different in non-best ball. But Hurts at freaking... Mahomes at 48 is crazy. Hurts at 40 is crazy. I would almost say Mahomes is starting to drop again a little bit. Mahomes is insane. Like, how do you let Mahomes fall to 48 overall? It doesn't make any sense at all. I don't care what happened last year. He's got a better wide receiver room. He was the number 1 quarterback in all fantasy football the year prior. People are out of their minds. Mahomes has no business being at 5.1. He has no business being there. I would say probably JD5 or Mahomes. Given quarterbacks score the most, given quarterbacks can carry you, I think you're winning a league off of JD5 at 100 and Mahomes at 48. And if you can drop Mahomes and JD5 together in a best ball, geez. That's a bully quarterback approach, and you don't even have to pay bully prices. I need to hashtag
thought
that.
It was pretty interesting. I was going to guess JD5, but yeah, what did you think about that whole Legette situation as far as, like, do you think he could end up beating his ADP?
Yeah, I like Legette. I mean, there's definitely he's a develop and doesn't come with a lot of, like, resume. He had a 1,255 7-touchdown season, 71 receptions, 2023. Kind of a raw talent, a lot of upside, but we've seen players get into the NFL and they mature very quickly. They grow very quickly. He's probably one of the better players you could give to Bryce Young, given the draft pick that they had, because he's a jump ball guy. He's like a 50. He could go up and dominate the space around him. And Bryce Young, probably could barely see the top of his helmet, over the line. So it's like, hey, throw it to that guy that I could actually see. I kind of joke, but like at the same time, you're going to need Bryce Young, who's going to throw some pretty errant passes for a while. He needs somebody that can catch anywhere in his vicinity. So Legette's a perfect, fit for him. I'll probably say, wide receiver 4 potential. I don't know that I'm going to say 3 yet, but there's certainly the appeal for that. But you're never going to draft him as your wide receiver 3. But you take him as a a 4, 5, 6, anywhere in there, depending on how you're building and how many wide receivers you're stacking. And he's a fantastic rookie to put there with Adonai Mitchell. I would take Adonai Mitchell slightly over Leggett, but I think they're in that same, bucket of player, no doubt.
All right, Smitty. Well, have a good night. I'll be on the Patreon, all right?
All right, later. Yeah, see you on the Patreon. Guys, join the Patreon if you haven't already. The first 200 people will get into the 240-man league. Here is the link to the Patreon. Jump in. It is basically the best way to describe it. Travis, I'll come to you in 1 second. Is the best way to describe it is that it's not only going to be, and I'm going to write a piece of content and lock it down for tonight. I'm sorry I hadn't put anything up yet for the last couple of days. Join the Patreon. Boom. There it is. Jump in, grab it. The first 200 people to join will get into the 242-man league. This will be safe until tomorrow night at midnight, easy. So tonight and tomorrow, first 200, you'll get in under that first 200 people, but it will happen fast. We're getting toward July. July 4th, people bum rush the channel. It's like the channel just blows up in terms of all the redraft people that come back. So you want to get in this Patreon and into this league before those people return. So first 200 people, but the Patreon's essentially for the $10 a month. Cancel any time. You won't get kicked out of the league if you cancel, but you won't qualify for the Dynasty League, which is the grand prize of if you win one of these 11 leagues that I'm throwing the 242 people into. 11 leagues of 22 people. Very odd format, very fun format. Best ball, 1 QB, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, and then 4 bench spots. Strategies through the roof. No one's used to this. I haven't played it. No one's played that format. So we're all kind of thinking what strategy would work best. It's best ball. Draft it and forget it. No waivers, no trades, no lineups. It's best ball. It's on sleeper. It's not on underdog, so you don't have to worry about whether you can play in it in your state. It's not like a paid league on underdog. It's on sleeper. And the winners of each of the 11 drafts leagues will go into this Dynasty League that I'm drafting in 2025, which will be the official Dynasty channel of the show. The 2 main redraft channels are the Marsman and Moonman League. And those are the 2 official redraft channels of this channel. And then on the Patreon side of things, there will be the 2 Dynasty Leagues. One will be a Superflex, one will be a non-Superflex, and they'll come from this format. But if we do Superflex this year, the non-Superflex will get yet next year out of doing this. Anyway, so join the Patreon. Do it live. Travis, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just out of like the higher ranked, higher drafted rookie wide receivers, would you say Xavier Worthy is like the most boom bust, or do you think he has somewhat of a safe floor?
I don't know if I'd call him safe on any level. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking, and so I was wondering, would he be like? Because I mean, he could have a huge ceiling, but I worry about the floor too.
Cole, just saw you join the Patreon. Thank you, pal. I'll shout you out as you guys join. So, Cole, thank you. I think, I don't know. I'm torn on it. Keep in mind, I was not super duper high on Adonai Mitchell right away, and he grew on me over the last handful of weeks and months, right? So, Worthy could grow on me too if I saw him getting a lot of attention, and he looked like he was going to potentially be in line to start, or at least get a little bit watered down of what would be starter volume. But Hollywood Brown's got a lock on a job. Rashee Rice has got a lock on a job. Worthy's going to get big plays, but probably not as many opportunities right away. Hollywood's a veteran. Rashee Rice, as of this moment, is playing, right? Week 1 as we know it. That could change at any moment, but Worthy's not unseating either one in one of the most complicated to learn offenses in the National Football League. So Worthy will be brought along slowly. I like him way more in best ball when I don't have to make any decisions. And the moment he has that breakout game, he'll be in the lineup because it's best ball and they start, optimal scoring. So, but in redraft, I don't know.
Do you like his ADP?
What is it at?
Let's see if I can find it quick.
I think I got it right here.
It is in 62 in this draft anyway.
Jeez. No, I don't like it.
Seems a bit high.
I'd say hell no.
Yeah.
Give me. I hate Lab
haven't gotten
McConkey's
much
too.
of them.
Lab McConkey's. I hate his too though. I don't think Lab McConkey or Worthy are safe in the 60s. That's wild. Brian Thomas Jr. at 71, like a little high too in a sense, but I like it better. I'll take BT any day of the week. We talked about this the other night. But Christian Watson.
75.
Christian Watson's about
Yep.
5, 6, 7 draft slots lower. Give me Christian Watson. Coleman, 75 overall. JSN at 10 draft slots, like a round later than Worthy. Give me JSN. All those running backs like Stevenson and Harris, Najee Harris and Joe Burrows down there at 87. Jonathan Brooks, Zamir White. Give me Zamir White over Worthy all day long. So my general answer is I probably draft Worthy 0 in non-best ball at that ADP, 0%. I would draft him. I probably drafted him in maybe 4%, 2%, 1% of my leagues just because I have Mahomes and I stacked it or something.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the only reason. It doesn't mean he can't be great. It just means that we have not enough information to risk your entire draft on it because you're doing that at 60 overall. If he was going at 80 or 90, then, you're not really risking a whole lot because doesn't work out, and there's a chance that even if he didn't work out for a while, he could still earn that draft value back in a way. But like at 60 overall, you're almost 59, 62. You're almost putting your entire season in jeopardy on one guy that you have no clue when or if he'll pan out. Not to mention, like, keep in mind, he's not like a better prospect really than Mecole Hardman was. I know everybody wants to pretend he is now, but entering the combine, nobody cared about him. You could say his film looks better than expected. I agree with that. I went back and looked at his film, which I had looked at before the combine, and I admit that, I don't know how much of it's influenced by the 40 time because we're human beings. We're capable of being corrupted by that kind of thinking. But, like, we overlooked him. Nobody loved him. He was on people's radars, but not enough to be like, oh yeah, he's just a guy. He goes out and runs this amazing 40 time. Now everybody loves him, and there's never been a receiver that it's ended well that you've changed your entire thinking around whether they're going to be good or bad because of their 40 time. It's never ended well. And that's what happened. Whether people want to say, yeah, but his film's great. Well, where were you when you were watching his film before the combine? Why was he not popping for you then? Because he weighs a buck, 65? And you can say Tank Dell. Tank Dell had the accolades. Tank Dell had the almost triple crown. He had the receiving, the touchdowns, the receptions. He missed the triple crown of being number one across the nation in all those three categories by one reception. That is Tank Dell. Tank Dell earned his respect at 165 pounds. Worthy did not. And you can say what you want, but Worthy's a bad pick in the 59 to 65 overall territory. Sky Moore, yeah. Sky Moore, same thing. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, well, and like we've talked about before, they get these speedsters and they think, oh, we're going to be the next Tyreek Hill or do what they did with Tyreek Hill. But what if Tyreek Hill is a one of one, first of all, just himself, but even in that system, because you see a guy like a Kelsey and then a bigger bodied guy who might not be the fastest guy like a Rashee Rice, and you see those guys do better in that Kansas City system after all, So maybe that smaller speedster isn't the key to that offense as much as people think.
I mean, I think we would. There's a chance that we all were wrong before the combine, but the odds that he is as good as everybody thinks he's going to be because of his 40 time is not a very likely way to play out. Hold on, Rock Out's got one more, and then I got to jump. Rock Out, here we go, buddy boy. Two more. I don't know if I can handle two.
This is how we go. This is Kyren time. I be going yes, and I spit these rhymes. This is
Harry Mack?
He be next gen. He AI. Gotta recognize.
Is this Harry Mack or is that Rock Out? I don't know if I hit the wrong button.
Dun,
You got some music now. Is that the radio?
Ooh. Got a whole band playing.
I want what he's having. Rock out to the moon. That last one threw me for a loop. I was not expecting just a non-vocal track.
Instrumental track.
Was that your voice, or was that like a beatbox? That's straight up glory rock out.
I think that should be your hold music for the phone.
Yeah. All right, Travis. We'll see you tomorrow. Waiver Wire show tomorrow.
Man,
Later. Waiver Wire show tomorrow. Thank you to my mods, Travis, Space Ricky, Blackbeard. Who else is in here? What other mods in here tonight? Appreciate you. Rock out. Thanks for dropping the super chat. Thank you guys for dropping the super chats. Matt, Phil, Spencer, rock out. Matt again, Spencer again, rock out. Shooter or whatever your name was. Thank you, appreciate you. Superfish, Phil, rock out. Dropping fire tonight, straight fire. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a Waiver Wire show. I was just kidding, Superfish. We just need this on a loop on the outro. I love it. I love it. Right here. Light us.